Hey guys, it's Joey. I just got back from watching the new Jordan Peele movie, Nope, in the theater with a couple friends. So I wanted to get on and do a quick review, reaction, whatever the hell you want to call this. I'm a big fan of Jordan Peele. I've enjoyed his previous movies. I think Get Out, of course, is probably the fan favorite, just the favorite among many. And Us, I was kind of a little lukewarm about, but I do need to revisit that movie. But Nope, let's talk about Nope because I'm a big fan of alien movies. I'm a big fan of stuff like that, creature features in a way. And I think Nope is a fantastic movie, and it is a movie made by somebody who loves movies, kind of about movies in a sense. And there's just a lot of cool, interesting stuff at play. There's some really heavy stuff at play in this movie, and then there's some just really fantastic kind of alien, weird shit kind of going on in this movie. I would say, in some senses, this is a departure from Jordan Peele's other films. Where I wouldn't say his work completely, because I think there are things reminiscent of this film in some of the Twilight Zone work that he did when that came back. And this felt different to me. I know maybe the advertisements kind of pitched it a little bit as a horror, but I see this mostly as an alien movie, and almost a western in a sense as well. Not just because it's shot mostly, it takes place mostly on a ranch, but I think there's a lot of just cool elements in there that make it that kind of thing. So let's go through it a little bit. Again, this is going to be pretty spoilery, so if you have not watched and you're worried about spoilers, please come back later. But I just kind of want to talk through the film a little bit because I'm really happy with it. I actually got goosebumps at the end because I loved it so much. And the ending was it was just a really solid movie. It's probably, I without gushing too much or getting too hyperbolic with my words, I think it was just a really solid movie, especially an alien movie. And I've been hoping we'd get a good one for a while. Obviously, one of my favorite movies is, if you've been on this channel before, or depending on how you found me, you'll know, is Cloverfield, and 10 Cloverfield Lane. And there's stuff that kind of reminiscent of that. There's stuff that's reminiscent of a little Spielberg-ish. There's a little Indiana Jones kind of feel to it. There's a lot of things pulling in all different directions, and there's a lot of love for film in general in this movie, physical, like movie kind of movie making and the history of movies, and TV and actual like film, camera film. This was shot on film, 65 millimeter, I believe, which is fantastic. I'm glad the industry is kind of finding a way to have the best of both worlds and get a lot of stuff shot on film again, because and the movie does a good job. As somebody who shoots film, I have a drawer full of film right here. I could pull out a couple rolls. I'm a big film buff. I love film. I love shooting on mechanical cameras, stuff without electronics. That's a big, well, not a big, but that's a point in the film, and I thought it was pretty funny. And there's some just photography, like filmmaker kind of stuff that was really cool to see in the movie. But getting back to the actual movie itself, this is all part of it. There's a lot of kind of ties to, filmmaking. I'm looking at a camera, I'm looking at the eye of the camera. There's a lot of stuff with looking and eyeballs and perception and observation and, capturing that as well, and the significance of that, and stuff about legacy and how you let legacy define you. Some people kind of go down with the ship. Some people steer it in a different direction, or don't steer it at all in some ways, and they kind of just keep to what they know and love, and that's perfectly fine with them. And at the end of the day, that's the skills that help you in a crunch. The cast, by the way, phenomenal. Daniel Kaluuya, Keke Palmer, Stephen Yeun, fantastic. I didn't catch the gentleman's name that plays the kind of the tech guy, but he was also really good, and he was able to offer some expositionary stuff in the movie, some UFO theories and stuff like that. I think that they're dynamic. Uh, Obviously, Daniel and Keke had a great dynamic. Keke, I just love Keke Palmer. She's fantastic in everything. Just she's great. But the dynamic of them three was really good. Pretty funny. Offered some levity in a film that was offered a lot of heavy stuff. There's a whole thing with, an animal, a chimpanzee in a sitcom, kind of an actor animal that kind of lost their shit one day on set and, took it out the cast essentially, besides Stephen Yeun's character, and he seemingly suppresses it and almost like revels in the weird, success of being a child star, but dealing with this really severe trauma caused by this chimp. And there's just a lot going on, especially relationships with animals, complicated. There's a lot of misunderstanding and kind of, franticness and seemingly almost at times nonsensical or without rhyme or reason. But in a sense, there's a rhyme or reason to everything to an extent. And I really want to rewatch this movie again because there's a bunch of stuff going on there. There is, and then it is at the end of the day a movie about just taking on this brother and sister duo that kind of are basically paving their own paths and getting away from the family business of movie horses and stuff like that that their father that really wanted them to do, but neither of them seem really interested in it. Keke Palmer's character kind of wants to do 100 other things because she was kind of let down as a kid, not really given a chance to engage with the horses the same way as her brother. And her brother just loves the horses. He just wants to hang out with the horses, feed the horses, just ride them around. He's not into, making them show horses, which, financially maybe he's not doing so great, but he's fine with the work he's doing, which I'd really like to see that in a character that's not a character that's just, fine with their life at the the moment we see them. They don't need, something incredible to happen to make it important or make them important or him important. And there's actually a point of that they bring in a filmmaker at one point that they try to get to help them capture the UFO, and he says something to that effect of I don't need this to we don't need to like chase greatness, or I'm kind of paraphrasing here. I don't remember the exact line, but I really loved it. It was kind of you don't need this to be a thing. Like you don't need this to be so like impossible to make you a somebody or something like that. You don't need it to be over the top. You don't need it to be unimaginable, like to make you somebody in this world. You just are. You just embrace kind of the life you have and go in the direction that makes you happy, without having to constantly chase or find the next incredible thing or make the next incredible thing. Just make. And I think there was a little bit of that with this film. I feel like Jordan Peele's previous films were trying to say something and say something important. And sometimes that's lost on audiences. Sometimes people, maybe go too far into it or expecting some kind of big overall message every time. But sometimes sometimes it's not needed. Sometimes the thing is the thing. And that's something that David Lynch says a lot of the time. That is the thing. It's the making of it. It exists now. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to say a billion things. It doesn't have to change your life. It doesn't have to change your world. It doesn't have to, disrupt all the time. It could just exist. And that's fine. You don't have to make it something else. And I think if there's any message to that film, it's that. It's just kind of, you know, live your life the way you want it. You don't have to, everybody, especially these days. And again, this kind of ties into a lot of the eyes, observation. There's a lot of camera kind of, the creature, the alien thing. There's at times it looks like a flower, and then it looks like almost like an old film camera, kind of the funnel through it. It kind of emulates a couple things. Even towards the end when it kind of like expands and blows up, it looks like a flower, but it also, I mean, this might just be me adding something there, but it also looks like, a film camera with like film bursting out of it. And it looks like there's like rolls all over the sides. It just looks like an old film camera. Again, maybe, I don't know if anybody else saw that in that, but maybe it's, I'm just seeing it in the shape of that thing, which was gorgeous. I love the whole thing of trying to get it during the right light, the golden hour light, which of course looks amazing on film. This was shot on film. The cinematographer, or the director in the movie wanted to get the shots of the alien in golden hour, which is such a photographer thing to do. I thought it was pretty funny and appropriate. Get this crazy, crazy creature that's not really good, not really evil, just wants, it's just hungry. Essentially, get it to hang out in the golden hour and get some good shots in. I really could keep going on with this film. I think I definitely am going to rewatch it. I'll probably buy it at some point, but it's just kind of nice to watch. I don't feel like I have to, sit there and try to really super engage with the content there. I mean, there's plenty to do that with. There's definitely stuff there, but at a certain point of the film, you kind of are just along for the ride, and that's kind of what I've wanted for a while. I think we kind of need more of that, where it's, it's crazy, it's fun, it tugs at your heartstrings to an extent. It maybe teaches you a little something, but it's not trying to, push some kind of message on you. Besides kind of just live your life, do what makes you happy. At the end of the day, you don't need to chase clout. You don't need to, you don't need to be your parents. You don't need to be this legacy that's laid before you. If you just want to hang out with horses all day, hang out with horses. If you want to sew and, have fun, as long as you're not hurting anybody, so be it. So if it says anything, it's just kind of live your life the way you want to live it, within reason, of course, and kind of let. I mean, there's a lot to say about how animals are treated, or how they behave in general. I mean, at the end of the movie, they kind of kill the creature. The alien, the UFO, whatever you want to call it. And it's beautiful, and they feel like they're safe. And on the other hand, this thing just wanted to eat. It wasn't really bothering anybody before. It seemed like maybe it was kind of lost and it was just hungry. And it obviously was having a hard time. But it just, on a human level, it's terrifying. Because, we're tiny compared to that thing. It's terrifying. It wants to consume anything with eyes, basically. Which, you could tie that into, people eating meat, or fish or anything that, with eyes, and probably overdoing it. It's just, it ties, there's a lot to be said about, the way people treat animals and the way animals treat us back sometimes. It's almost without, there's almost no distinction. It's not hammered home in this film. It's not like made super obvious, like he doesn't put a big stake down or something, or we don't really see people. I mean, people, I think we see them eating a couple times, but it's not really. He says something about fried fish, nothing better than fried fish, and I think that was probably as close as we get to kind of a tether to what's going on with the eating and the aggression of with anything that, moves or has eyes. But I'm just gonna go down another track. I really love this movie. I think it's definitely it's definitely, I have to watch it again, so this might be premature, but I think it's probably my favorite Jordan Peele so far. Again, one of my golden rules is, are there aliens in it? It's kind of a joke, but I'm also kind of serious because I think it's a good method for kind of reflecting on ourselves in a sense. So I really loved Nope. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. It's funny that I'm doing this review and talking about this movie with kind of the subject matter. But I just, again, I enjoy doing these reviews. They're fun. I love editing them, and I like talking with you guys. So that's something I enjoy doing in my daily life. I don't need to be, I don't need to be the next big YouTuber or anything like that. I just like doing it because I think it's fun. And sometimes I go back and rewatch some stuff, and people, friends and family like to watch it sometimes too. So that's what makes it cool to me. It makes it important. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you thought of the film. If you watched it, let me know, if you caught anything else in the movie that I might have missed. I'm sure I haven't covered everything. Obviously, there's a lot to discuss. But yeah, let me know what you thought. Really, really love this. I think I might go see it again. We'll see. Talk to you guys later.